If you're still feeling exhausted, bloated, or gaining weight, even though you're eating healthy, there's a good chance your clean diet is actually hurting your thyroid. So, today I'm going to talk about 5 foods that are secretly working against your Hashimoto's. I'm Naira, a certified holistic nutritionist and your Hashimoto's BFF, and I help women optimize their thyroid health, finally beat stubborn Hashimoto symptoms, and feel good in their bodies again. And here's something most people don't realize. When you're living with Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, what you eat can either calm inflammation or fuel it. Even the foods that seem healthy can quietly trigger your symptoms behind the scenes. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 foods that can hurt your thyroid if you're living with Hashimoto's and what to do instead. Plus, I created a free resource for you called the Hashimoto Symptom App. It walks you through the most common Hashimoto symptoms and connects them to their underlying root causes, so you can finally focus on the places that will actually move the needle for your health. You'll find the link for that down in the description box below. All right, let's hop in, starting with one of the biggest food triggers I see every single day: gluten. Gluten is one of the most common triggers I see in women with Hashimoto's. And it's not just because it causes bloating or digestive issues. The real problem is something deeper called molecular mimicry. Here's what that means in simple terms. The protein structure in gluten looks almost identical to the structure of your thyroid tissue. So when your immune system attacks gluten, it doesn't always stop there. It can get confused and start attacking your thyroid too, thinking that it's the same foreign invader. It's like friendly fire inside your body. Your immune system is trying to protect you, but it ends up damaging your thyroid in the process. Over time, this constant attack keeps your immune system in a state of alarm, fueling inflammation, fatigue, and ongoing thyroid damage. And here's the tricky part. Even small amounts of gluten can reignite that inflammation. It doesn't take a big plate of pasta or a loaf of bread. It could be the soy sauce in your sushi, the salad dressing at lunch, or a tiny cross contamination from cooking surfaces. For some women, just a crumb is enough to trigger symptoms. This is why going mostly gluten free often isn't enough if you have Hashimoto's. Your immune system doesn't see just a little bit, it reacts as if there's a full blown invasion. And remember, this isn't just about digestive discomfort. For many women, gluten triggers fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, mood changes, or even flare ups in anxiety. Symptoms that don't always seem connected to food at all. But they are, because the immune system lives everywhere, not just in your gut. So if you've been eating clean, exercising, and doing all the right things, but still feel inflamed or stuck, removing gluten for 4 to 6 weeks can be one of the most powerful experiments you can do. Pay attention to how you feel. Maybe your bloating decreases, your energy comes back, or your brain fog lifts. That's your body saying, thank you for turning down the noise. And once you feel that difference, you'll understand why gluten is one of the first things I address in every Hashimoto's nutrition plan. Now, if gluten is one of the biggest culprits, the next one might surprise you because it's something most of us eat almost every single day, and that's dairy. I know, it's creamy, comforting, and it sneaks its way into almost everything: your morning coffee, sauces, pastries, even that little sprinkle of cheese on top of your salad. But here's the thing. For women with Hashimoto's or thyroid imbalances, dairy can quietly keep your immune system on edge and fuel inflammation without even realizing it. The problem isn't just the fat or the calories, it's the proteins in dairy, specifically casein and whey. These proteins can trigger immune reactions in people with autoimmune conditions. They act kind of like gluten does. Your body can mistake them for something harmful, creating an inflammatory response that leads to symptoms like bloating, sinus congestion, acne, fatigue, and even joint pain. And this is important. You don't have to be lactose intolerant for dairy to bother you. Lactose intolerance is about the sugar in milk. Dairy sensitivity, on the other hand, is about how your immune system reacts to the proteins. And another sneaky part, these reactions are often delayed. So it's not like eating ice cream and instantly getting a stomach ache. Sometimes the inflammation shows up 24 to 48 hours later, maybe as brain fog, puffiness, skin breakouts, or just that heavy, tired feeling that you can't explain. That's what makes it so easy to miss. You don't connect that headache or bloating back to the cheese you had 2 days ago. Now, I'm not saying everyone with Hashimoto's has to give up dairy forever, but what I recommend is a simple experiment. Remove it for about 3 to 4 weeks and really pay attention to how your body feels. Do you feel less bloated? Is your skin clearer? Are your energy levels more stable? That's your body giving you feedback. And if you decide to bring it back later, go for the higher quality options like grass fed, organic, or A2 dairy. A2 comes from certain breeds of cows that produce a slightly different protein that's often easier to digest and less inflammatory. Some people also do better with goat or sheep milk, which naturally contains less of the problematic casein protein. At the end of the day, this isn't about perfection or restriction. It's about creating a low inflammation environment where your thyroid can heal and your immune system can calm down. And now that we've talked about gluten and dairy, two of the biggest immune triggers, let's move into one that's often labeled as heart healthy, but can actually be one of the worst offenders for Hashimoto's. And that's processed seed oils. These are things like canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, and safflower oil. These are everywhere in salad dressings, sauces, packaged foods, and even things marketed as healthy snacks. The issue with these oils is that they're extremely high in omega 6 fatty acids. Now, your body does need omega 6s in small amounts, but when they're out of balance with omega 3s, the kind found in salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed, they promote inflammation instead of fighting it. For women with Hashimoto's, that imbalance can turn up the volume on immune activity, joint pain, fatigue, and thyroid flares. The good news is, this is one of the easiest swaps to make. Try cooking with olive oil, avocado oil, which is my personal favorite, or coconut oil, or even ghee instead. They're rich in healthy fats that help lower inflammation and support hormone balance. Small changes here really make a big difference, especially if you're eating out often or relying on packaged foods. Now, the next one. This one takes the cake when it comes to inflammation. And I mean that literally. You literally kind of can't make cake without it. It's refined sugar. We all know sugar impacts weight and energy, but what most people don't realize is how it affects your hormones and thyroid conversion. When you eat too much sugar or go through big blood sugar spikes and crashes, your body releases more cortisol, which is your main stress hormone. High cortisol slows down the conversion of T4 to T3, which is the active thyroid hormone your body actually uses. That means your energy drops, your metabolism slows, and your mood tanks. On top of that, blood sugar swings create more inflammation, which only worsens Hashimoto symptoms. You don't have to eliminate sugar completely. It's about balance, not punishment. Just focus on whole food sources like fruit, sweet potatoes, or raw honey. I personally use coconut sugar. And then, as much as you can, pair them with protein and healthy fats to keep your blood sugar steady. You'll notice steadier energy, better mood balance, and fewer cravings. All signs that your hormones are finally syncing up again. And finally, let's talk about a food that often flies under the radar, especially for women who are trying their best to eat clean, and that's soy. Soy is one of those tricky foods because it's marketed as super healthy. It's plant based protein, and honestly, for some people, it can be totally fine. But if you have Hashimoto's, soy can become a hidden obstacle in your healing journey for a few reasons. First, soy contains compounds called goitrogens. These are naturally occurring substances that can interfere with your thyroid's ability to absorb iodine, which is absolutely essential for producing thyroid hormones. When your body doesn't have enough iodine available, thyroid hormone production slows down, and you can start to feel that dip in energy, your mood, and your metabolism. Second, soy can also interfere with thyroid medication absorption. If you're taking your thyroid meds and eating soy, especially within a few hours of your dose, your body might not be getting the full benefit. I've seen so many women increase their medication dosage unnecessarily when the real issue was timing their soy intake too close to the meds. And thirdly, and this one is big, soy contains phytoestrogens or plant based compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. Now, estrogen and thyroid hormones have a delicate balance. When estrogen levels rise, it can reduce the amount of active thyroid hormone available. So, if your hormones are already sensitive or out of balance, too much soy can tip the scale even further, leading to more fatigue, water retention, and that frustrating sense that your body's working against you. But, and this is important, you don't need to fear all forms of soy. The way soy is processed makes a huge difference. Highly processed soy, like what you would find in protein bars, baked meats, or conventional soy milk, is where most of the problems occur. But fermented soy foods like miso, tempeh, or natto are a different story. The fermentation process breaks down those goitrogens and makes the nutrients more bioavailable, which means your body can actually use them better and with less irritation. So instead of thinking soy is bad, think soy is situational. Pay attention to how your body responds. Try removing it for a few weeks, then reintroduce small amounts of fermented soy and see what happens. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's just about awareness. Every small change you make, like switching out that dairy creamer or cutting back on processed soy, sends your body a message that is safe to heal. When you make your food choices from that place of awareness and intention, you're creating an environment where your thyroid can finally thrive, not just survive. Small, consistent choices really do add up, and over time, they make a massive difference in your energy, mood, and inflammation levels. If this video helped you understand what might be holding your thyroid back, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which of these foods you're planning to experiment with first. And before you go, don't forget to grab your free Hashimoto symptom map so you can start your Hashimoto's healing journey today. And please like and subscribe, not just so you don't miss future videos, but so that more women with Hashimoto's can find this message and know that they're not alone. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next one.